July of 1933, the Arkansas hills were burning hot. But things were about to get a whole lot hotter for young Doc Richardson. He and his brother Dave had a plan. Doc was gonna leave this Arkansas land. In 1933, on the 5th day of July, young Doc looked at the hills and said, "It's time to say goodbye." Brother Dave came down from Kansas in a Model T coupe car with his wife and baby girl, and they traveled pretty far. Now the Model T Ford didn't have much room inside, but Doc was bound for Kansas and he had to catch a ride. So he hopped up on the fender and he held on mighty tight, and they sneaked past Salem in the early morning light. Well, they hit the road running, but the dust began to rise. Old Daddy found out and he got fire in his eyes. He jumped into his flatbed, he knew he didn't have much time, trying to catch the boys before they crossed the state line. Old Daddy blew his top and he headed down the track through the town of Mammoth Springs to bring young Doc on back. He cut him off at Salem and he pulled him to the side. His temper was something he just couldn't hide. He threw poor Velma out right there on the road while Dave was trying hard just to settle up the load. But Doc saw him coming and he knew he couldn't stay. He jumped right off that fender and he ran far away. Yeah, he hit the brush a-running where the rabbits wouldn't go, ditching Daddy in the woods where the wild briars grow. He ran so fast, but no time to take a rest. He left his daddy in the hollow, alone and out of breath. Well, they got back together and they drove through the night. They slipped on into Kansas by the early morning light. But Doc was soon bound for Texas where the lonely coyotes call, when his older brother Saul came a visit in that fall. Saul had a Model A and he was rolling in the green, the finest looking coupe that the county'd ever seen. They strapped Doc's new bicycle right onto the side, and they pointed toward the Lone Star State for a Texas-sized ride. They were crossing over a bridge when Brother Saul began to doze. He sideswiped the railing and the metal screeched and rose. It smashed Doc's bike into a terrible mess, but they picked up the pieces and drove on to Texas with the rest. They made it down to Texas, driving through the night. Made it down to Texas, now everything's alright. Doc is finally down in Wharton County on Uncle Charlie's Texas farm. He had escaped from Arkansas, far away from Arkansas home. Far away from home. That heat in Texas, it was fierce, and Uncle Charlie's farmhouse was small. Doc slept out on the porch at night, didn't mind at all. He spent his days out working in the dirt, digging them farm rows, wiping sweat from his brow. Yeah, that's how the story goes. Well, he sure didn't find a life of ease, but he was never scared of hard work or sweat. He found a lifelong Texas home, a home in Texas, a home in Texas that he never would regret. Hey, hanging on a fender, running through the Arkansas wood. Run, Doc, run, digging Texas potatoes in the hot Texas dirt, hunting possums on the side, hunting armadillos too. Doc made it down to Texas, driving through the night. Made it down to Texas, now everything's alright. Gotta love the Texas.